Cruise line cutbacks. What's really happening with room service now? You order breakfast to your cabin. Eggs, toast, hash browns, orange juice, coffee. Seems simple, right? Wrong. The room service attendant looks at your order and says, "I can only bring you 2 items." You're confused. You paid nearly $12 in fees and gratuities for this delivery, and now they're telling you that you can't even get a basic breakfast? Welcome to the new reality of cruise ship room service, where major cruise lines are quietly dismantling one of cruising's most beloved amenities while posting record profits. And Norwegian Cruise Line just became the most restrictive of them all. Today, we're exposing exactly what's happening with room service across every major cruise line, the real reasons behind these cutbacks, and the one thing cruise executives said out loud that they probably wish they could take back. Stick around, because we're also revealing which cruise lines still treat their passengers like valued guests instead of walking ATMs. Let's dive in. Number 1, Norwegian's 2-item bombshell that nobody saw coming. In October 2024, Norwegian Cruise Line quietly implemented the most restrictive room service policy in the mainstream cruise industry. And here's how passengers found out about it. They didn't. There was no press release, no email announcement, no warning before boarding. Passengers discovered the new policy when room service staff refused their orders mid-cruise. Here's the new rule: 1 hot item and 1 cold item per person, per delivery. That's it. You want eggs, toast, and hash browns? Too bad, pick 2. You want a salad, entree, and dessert? Not happening. You and your spouse want to order a romantic dinner in your cabin? You'll need to place 2 separate orders and pay 2 separate delivery fees. And those fees, they stayed exactly the same. You're still paying $9.95 for the all-day menu, plus a mandatory 20% gratuity. That's nearly $12 per delivery. So now you're paying the same price for less food. And if you want a complete meal, you're paying double. One passenger currently sailing on Norwegian Sun posted, "I eat room service more than anywhere. Another thing I love to do cut down." What's next? Definitely not lower prices. Another cruiser with an elderly mother who has mobility issues said room service was always a godsend. Now they can't even order a proper breakfast without placing multiple orders and racking up fees. But here's where it gets even more confusing. Nobody can agree on what counts as an item. Is a pot of coffee 1 hot item? Are scrambled eggs with toast 1 item or 2? Room service supervisors have given different answers to different passengers. It's chaos. Number 2, this is the 3rd strike in 4 weeks. Norwegian didn't just wake up one day and decide to restrict room service. This is part of a pattern, and loyal Norwegian cruisers are noticing. Strike 1 happened on September 26, 2024. Norwegian announced they'd start charging $5 for any second entree in the main dining room. Think about that. You're already paying for an all-inclusive cruise, and now if you want to try 2 dishes at dinner, that's an extra $5. Even Carnival allows 2 complimentary entrees before charging. Strike 2 came in early October. Norwegian announced that starting March 1st, 2026, drink packages will no longer work at Great Stirrup Cay, their private island in the Bahamas. If you bought the unlimited drink package for your cruise, too bad. You'll need to purchase a separate island-specific beverage package at pricing they haven't even disclosed yet. Strike 3, the room service restrictions. 3 major cutbacks in 4 weeks. Passengers are calling it death by 1,000 cuts. One longtime Norwegian loyalist posted on Cruise Critic, "We've sailed with NCL 7 times in the past. Our previous experiences have been excellent. What a total disappointment. The NCL transition from excellent to bottom of the barrel was amazing." Number 3, but they're not alone. Norwegian might be the worst offender right now, but don't think your favorite cruise line isn't playing the same game. Let's talk about what's really happening across the industry. Royal Caribbean charges $7.95 plus 18% gratuity for all room service, except continental breakfast. That's about $9.40 per delivery. And even if you're staying in a grand suite, you're still paying. No exceptions. Celebrity Cruises, the supposedly premium line owned by Royal Caribbean, implemented a $9.95 fee plus 20% gratuity in 2023. Only suite guests and top-tier Captain's Club members get complimentary service. Everyone else, pay up. Princess Cruises pulled the sneakiest move of all. They added a $14.99 one-time fee just to access their Ocean Now delivery app, plus a $5 delivery fee if you order by phone. The only way to avoid these charges? Purchase their Princess Plus package at $65 per day or Princess Premier at $100 per day. On a 7-day cruise, that's an extra $455 to $700 per person. They literally hid new fees inside supposedly all-inclusive packages. Carnival started charging $2 to $6 per item for late-night room service between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., but they kept continental breakfast free and backed off broader charges after passenger complaints. It's actually one of the less aggressive approaches in the industry. MSC Cruises uses a tiered system where most passengers pay a $4.99 delivery fee plus item charges, while only Yacht Club guests get truly complimentary service. So who are the good guys? Disney Cruise Line and Holland America. They're the only major mainstream lines offering completely free 24-hour room service with no delivery fees whatsoever. Remember those names. Number 4, the $112 billion reason they won't tell you about. Want to know the real reason cruise lines are nickel and diming you on room service? Follow the money. The big 3 cruise corporations, Royal Caribbean Group, Carnival Corporation, and Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, are carrying a combined $112 billion in debt. That's billion with a B. Most of this debt came from the COVID pandemic when ships sat idle for months while still burning cash. Add in expensive new ship construction. Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas alone cost over $2 billion, and you've got massive financial pressure to squeeze every dollar out of passengers. But here's where this story gets really interesting. These same companies posting sob stories about debt are simultaneously reporting record-breaking profits. Royal Caribbean hit $16.5 billion in revenue for 2024. Carnival reached $25 billion. Norwegian pulled in $9.5 billion. All company records. Industry-wide net profit margins hit about 17%, nearly double what comparable hotel chains make. Symphony of the Seas generates an estimated $1.7 million in profit per week. Per passenger, cruise lines are clearing about $291 in net profit on a 7-day cruise. So they're not struggling, they're thriving. They're just optimizing, as they like to call it. Number 5, what the cruise line president actually said out loud. Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings. President Frank Del Rio said something during a Wall Street analyst call that's been making the rounds on cruise forums, and passengers are furious. Here's the quote: "It is a balance. Obviously, you don't want to kill the goose that lays the golden egg, which is the customer. We're trying to balance what customers pay, what they actually pay for, and what they receive. Look, it's management's responsibility to optimize revenue and minimize costs. That's Economics 101, and that's what we're doing." Read that again. He literally admitted that passengers are the goose that lays the golden egg, and they're trying to figure out exactly how much they can squeeze before killing it. That's not customer service. That's extraction. And you know what's wild? Ships are sailing at over 100% capacity. Booking curves are extending further into the future than ever. As long as passengers keep booking, cruise lines have zero incentive to reverse these cutbacks. We are voting with our wallets, and right now, we're voting for more fees. Number 6, the sustainability excuse that doesn't add up. Cruise lines love to justify cutbacks by talking about food waste and sustainability. And to be fair, they've made real progress. Carnival achieved a 44% reduction in food waste per passenger in 2024, beating their target a full year early. Royal Caribbean is targeting 50% reduction by 2025 using AI technology. That's genuinely impressive. But here's what passengers want to know. If limiting room service orders reduces food waste and saves the cruise line money, why didn't the delivery fees go down? Why are we paying the same $10 to $12 for 2 items that we used to pay for unlimited items? If this is really about sustainability and not profit optimization, prove it. Lower the fees to reflect the reduced cost and waste. Spoiler alert, that's not happening. The truth is more complicated. According to industry reports, 69% of cruise line executives cite inflation and price increases as their top challenge. Supply chain disruption remains a major issue. The big 3 spend about $2 billion annually on food. Royal Caribbean's Symphony of the Seas alone spends $1 million per week on provisions. Those costs are real. But when you're posting record revenues and profits, passengers struggle to feel sympathy. Norwegian's CEO emphasized they haven't reduced food quality, just improved supply chain efficiency, trimming $11 million in food costs in Q1 2024 while carrying 103,000 more guests. That's great operational management, but don't insult our intelligence by calling it sustainability when you're keeping the same fees for less service. Number 7, the crew members nobody's talking about. Here's something most passengers don't realize. Behind every room service cutback is a crew that's stretched impossibly thin. The cruise industry needs over 20,000 additional crew members in 2025, expanding to 75,000 by 2036. Right now, 53% of industry professionals predict a shortage of experienced cruise workers. This isn't theoretical. Norwegian's Pride of America canceled bookings due to insufficient crew. Royal Caribbean canceled voyages in early 2022, for the same reason. Carnival's president admitted the labor shortage hit the cruise industry harder than any other sector, partly because the U.S. State Department is so backed up processing visas. The crew members who do work on board are dealing with brutal conditions. According to crew forums, 85% live below the waterline in 9-by-9-foot cabins shared by 2 to 4 people, working 10 to 12-plus-hour days. Room service duties often fall on cabin stewards already handling stateroom cleaning, now reduced from twice daily to once daily on most mainstream lines. A Royal Caribbean crew member shared on Reddit, "Your cash tips, no matter how big or small, help us tremendously. We are paid a livable wage, and well, but every dollar is something extra we can bring back home to our families." Being mentioned by name in post-cruise surveys can earn crew members actual rewards like a day off, free internet, free room service for themselves, or even cash bonuses. When cruise lines cut room service offerings, they're reducing the workload on stretch crew. From an operational standpoint, that makes sense. It's just a shame they kept the fees the same and framed it as a passenger benefit. Number 8, what room service used to be. If you're a first-time cruiser, you might not realize what's been lost. So let me paint you a picture of the golden age. Pre-2020, room service was one of cruising's signature amenities. You could order 24/7, completely complimentary, with continental breakfast always free. The all-day menus offered unlimited items per delivery. You could order a salad, appetizer, entree, sides, dessert, and beverages, all brought to your cabin at no extra cost beyond gratuities. Even during COVID, when hotels were slashing housekeeping and amenities left and right, cruise lines maintained room service. They committed to continuing not just daily housekeeping, but twice daily housekeeping. That commitment lasted about 18 months. By 2023 and 2024, the shift from complimentary to fee-based accelerated dramatically. The glory days of unlimited complimentary room service are over. Service fees and a la carte menus are now the industry standard. Princess Cruises epitomized the transformation. The Points Guy called it hiding new fees with an expansion of all-inclusive packages. The value of standard cruise fares dropped significantly for passengers who don't want to pay an extra $420 to $560 per person for a 7-day cruise just to get packages that include services that used to be free. The all-inclusive promise that drew millions to cruising is being systematically dismantled, and passengers who booked based on past experiences feel betrayed. Number 9, the lines that still get it. Not every cruise line is racing to the bottom. Let me tell you who's actually treating passengers with respect. Among luxury lines, Regent 7 Seas Cruises offers complimentary 24/7 room service for all suite categories. You can order from the main dining room menu in course-by-course format with white glove butler service. Seabourn does the same, with waiters setting up white tablecloths on your balcony for each course. Silversea includes all room service with premium wines and beverages. These lines understand that luxury means not charging you a fee every time you want convenience. Among mainstream lines, Disney Cruise Line remains the gold standard. Completely free 24/7 room service on all ships with an extensive menu running until 1 a.m. on departure day. Mickey Premium Ice Cream Bars? Complimentary. Only specialty items like alcohol and canned sodas carry charges. Holland America stands virtually alone among mainstream lines, maintaining fully complimentary room service 24/7 with no delivery fees. They even offer room service on disembarkation morning, something almost no other line provides. Virgin Voyages has an interesting approach. They charge a $10 delivery fee, but it's waived if you order any beverage over $10. Since most adults order cocktails or specialty coffees anyway, delivery is effectively free while driving bar revenue. It's clever and feels way less punitive than flat fees. These lines are betting that maintaining generous room service policies will attract passengers fleeing the nickel and diming at other cruise lines. Time will tell if that strategy works. Number 10, your survival guide. All right, here's what you actually need to know to cruise smarter in this new fee-heavy environment. First, the buffet takeaway method. Visit the buffet, fill a plate with whatever you're craving, and take it back to your room to enjoy on your balcony. Just don't leave dirty dishes in the hallway. That's rude. Return them to your cabin desk for steward pickup. Second, strategic food storage. Save miniature cereal boxes, yogurt cups, and muffins from breakfast buffets for snacks later. Make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches at breakfast for lunch. Bring zip-close bags from home to transport items. Save cookies for DIY ice cream sandwiches at the soft-serve station. Third, maximize continental breakfast. The free continental breakfast door hanger service still exists on most lines. Order it the night before, then supplement with items you saved from previous meals. Fourth, don't forget the main dining room. Often overlooked for breakfast and lunch, the main dining room offers sit-down service with full menus, better food quality than buffets, and it's completely included in your fare. If you have food allergies, this is your best option. Fifth, timing strategies. Skip the buffet on embarkation day and try the main dining room. Visit the buffet during showtimes when crowds thin. Order room service during off-peak hours to avoid long waits. These small adjustments make a huge difference. Sixth, build relationships. Tip your cabin steward well at the beginning of the cruise. $20 cash on day one goes a long way, and this is crucial. Mention crew members by name in your post-cruise survey. Those official mentions can lead to bonuses, promotions, or help them secure their next contract. It costs you nothing but 5 minutes and can genuinely change someone's life. And finally, the most important hack, adjust your expectations. The all-inclusive cruising experience of 2019 is gone and unlikely to return. Budget for fees, plan around restrictions, and view free amenities as bonuses rather than guarantees. If you go in expecting fees, you won't be disappointed when they appear. Number 11, what's coming next? Here's the uncomfortable truth. More cutbacks are coming, not fewer. Industry insiders expect the fee-based trend to continue and potentially accelerate. Areas passengers fear might see new charges, poolside lounger reservations, already testing on some ships, self-service buffet access, transitioning to waiter service with associated charges, fitness center access beyond basic equipment, enhanced Wi-Fi packages becoming mandatory for any connectivity, and elimination of embarkation day lunch, forcing passengers to specialty restaurants or waiting until dinner. The Great Stirrup Cay drink package elimination beginning March 2026 suggests a new revenue stream. Private island-specific charges that increase spending requirements beyond ship-based packages. Carnival already doesn't honor drink packages at their private destinations. This model will likely expand across the industry. But there are signs that passenger pushback can work. Carnival paused broader room service charges after negative feedback. When competitors maintain generous policies, market pressure exists. Disney and Holland America are betting their complimentary room service will attract premium passengers. The wild card is whether long-term loyalty erosion will eventually impact bookings. Multiple passengers across forums mention switching from Norwegian to Royal Caribbean or from mainstream lines to luxury lines. If customer satisfaction scores drop significantly, cruise lines may be forced to walk back some cutbacks. But for now, here's reality. Cruise lines are cutting amenities while posting record profits, and passengers are largely accepting it by continuing to book at record levels. Until that changes fundamentally, expect more cutbacks, not fewer. We're voting with our wallets, and the message we're sending is, keep squeezing. So there you have it. The truth about cruise line room service cutbacks. Norwegian led the race to the bottom with their 2-item limit while keeping fees the same. Other major lines are close behind with their own versions of fee-based service. The industry is carrying $112 billion in debt while posting record profits and openly admitting they're trying to extract maximum revenue without killing the goose. Crew members are stretched impossibly thin while passengers watch beloved amenities disappear. Your move? Research thoroughly before booking. Read the fine print on room service policies. Join cruise line-specific forums to learn about recent changes. Budget for fees that didn't exist 5 years ago. And seriously consider whether the cruise experience as currently constituted still offers the value that originally attracted you. If you want generous room service without fees and restrictions, book Disney, Holland America, or luxury lines like Regent or Seabourn. Accept higher base fares in exchange for genuine all-inclusive experiences. If you're cruising Norwegian, understand you're getting 2 items max per delivery at $12 a pop and plan around it using buffets and main dining rooms. The golden age of all-inclusive cruising is over, but with realistic expectations and strategic planning, cruising can still be enjoyable and affordable. You just can't expect room service to look anything like it did in 2019. If this video helped you understand what's really happening with cruise line cutbacks and how to navigate the new reality, smash that like button right now. Subscribe for more insider cruise tips that the cruise lines don't want you to know. And comment below with the words "Cruise Smart" if you're committed to being a savvy traveler who doesn't fall for these schemes. Share your own room service experiences in the comments. Have you been hit with surprise fees? Have you switched cruise lines because of cutbacks? Let's keep this conversation going. Thanks for watching, and remember, better informed than disappointed.